Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for game number 2 in this best of 5 series. It's the grand finals of WePlay Dota 2 League. $19,000 at stake. It ain't TI3 money, but it's still Navi versus Alliance. These teams, they always seem to bring their A game, you know. They want to show who's King Kong.
I think any matchup that they could have gone to best of 5, they did. So 4 more matches to go.
Yeah, well, I hope it goes the distance. That would be a treat. Game 1, it kind of reminds me actually of the series they had at TI3, where in Game 1 they just went for like an unusual draft, kind of unorthodox lanes, something Navi doesn't normally do, and it just didn't work out.
Well, they're going to give away Bounty Hunter, which is one of the most insane hero in this entire patch. So that's going to be somewhat difficult, and they pick up supports that don't really shore up that. They need stuns, but they're getting Visage and Venomancer instead. I see Alliance being able to dance circles around this draft if they want to go Storm or any kind of greedy carry or semi-carries that don't want to be locked down too much.
Yeah, I do want to point out Alliance continues to show a lot of respect towards the Havost Lifestealer and just how well it fits Navi's playstyle. Once again, it got the axe in the first stage. They did have the first pick, so they knew they'd be able to get Bounty Hunter, but they could have been banning a very strong support like Visage instead, which, you know, Navi likes to run. So as we head towards the second stage, I think Navi likely to be banning out a Chen pick here. Or another jungler, as Ake generally likes to play those. And when you have the Bounty Hunter on your side, you don't have to be worried about Navi really contesting that jungle.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're going to see the standard EGM Windrunner, one of the heroes that they do like to go for the most. For anybody that's keeping track of the statistics at home, it seems like when Navi and Alliance go up against each other, the Radiant wins more. So
yeah, I believe.
I'm not sure if that means anything.
Yeah, I believe K-Pop Tosos had the stat at 14-11. So Radiant's won 14 games out of the 25 total meetings the teams have had. Dire has won 11, so it's not a huge advantage, but there was another quick Radiant win in that game.
Yep.
And I also do want to point out that stat, I believe it's based on their total history, because I don't think they've played that many more games against each other. That's not just 6.79. So this was back when that Radiant Ancient jungling was very popular, and Navi would use it a lot to great success. So things have definitely changed. The jungle's changed. But hey, in some ways, the Radiant and Dire are still dichotomous.
So there was, when the patch first came out, the Black Dragons flew over trees, and then they removed it. Does it still fly over trees, or does it not?
I'm pretty sure it does not. I think that was just axed, because I tried to stack... I tried to pull Black Dragons, and they didn't seem to be flying over anything.
Okay.
So
if Navi wants to do the Radiant Ancient thing, they still can, but
I just think it's very weak in this patch.
Yeah, you don't have to do it anymore, and that's a good thing for offlaners. You just walk in the lane, strut in, and that should be enough.
Yeah, speaking of offlaners, what is Funnick going to play this game? Last game he was on the solo mid Clinks. I actually want to go back to the draft, because I liked the draft a lot from Navi. I thought they would go aggressive time with Darkseer with a Visage plus Naga tri-lane, and you have a Darkseer there. Very, very strong tri-lane. Maybe they go try to contest the Chen in the jungle, ward some camps early on, and then run the Clink safe lane 1v1 against Clockwork. I thought that would have been a much stronger way to lane it, and actually very effective. I think they would have won 2 lanes there, or at least broken even in the trend. And then the mid lane looked like it was going to be pretty even, your Timbersaw versus Storm. So I was very surprised to see how Navi chose to lane that, because, I mean, obviously Puppey had a reason for it, but I just didn't see it.
Yeah, what I was more concerned about is once mid-game come, there was just no stuns. And when you don't run stuns against a Juggernaut or Stormsurge, you're sitting ducks.
So as predicted, Navi do go ahead and ban out those Alliance junglers. You don't want to give those away in combination with Windrunner especially, because then Alliance can get really greedy with the jungle Chen, have the Bounty Hunter just running around harassing the enemy supports, and then you have your own Windrunner actually as the offlaner and not even a true support.
I mean, all Aki needs to do is pick Enigma or play Enigma. And
Alliance really doesn't run Enigma.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm not sure if it's just Aki doesn't know how to play it here or haven't trained it.
Oh, well, he definitely knows how to play Enigma.
We've never seen it, so
come on.
Why not?
If you can play Chen, you can play Enigma.
But we don't see Enigma. And he's not a bad hero, because Navi drafted.
The one thing is Enigma just is a very passive laning hero, and for Alliance, they really want their supports to be... I mean, in 6.78, their supports would just sit back and stack and farm a lot, and Enigma suits that style, but in this particular version, they really like having that threat of an early smoke gank. They like the Chen to get a little bit more active, and I think that's where Enigma just doesn't offer you much. Also, Enigma wouldn't be very good this game, because there's a Clockwork on the enemy team, and you can get him for push, but Black Hole is going to be useless.
Well, I'm going to say useless.
Pretty close.
Ake did say something about, you're level 6 in 4 minutes and 30 seconds-ish. So he definitely is aware of what Enigma can do. But yeah, it's surprising to me, at least, that this hero has never been picked by Alliance, or very rarely.
It's a strong hero. Again, it is a passive hero. Like, when you go Enigma, the
No,
enemy
I
team's-
disagree with that being passive here. You come out with Malefice, guaranteed 3 stun and 3 Eidolons hitting you, plus
Yeah,
whatever
that's
hero.
at the 5 or 6 minute mark. But those first 5 minutes are very crucial.
Alliance's turn to pick.
Alright, looks like we have an Earthshaker as a 4th pickup. No, I still disagree with that. You get that gank at level 2. I don't see that you have to do it in 5 or 6 minutes.
Well, they don't like Enigma, Lumi. What do you want me to tell you? They'll pick up a Crystal Maiden instead. They get a strong support hero here. One that can jungle pretty efficiently, but also offers a lot of early pressure. And Na'Vi now get Earthshaker. Great long-range initiation for them. This puts our Venomancer potentially into a farming role here. So
Solo mid Dandy, Venom?
maybe they're going to take a page out of that LGD China book and, yeah, run a solo mid Veno. Could aggressive tri-lane Veno Visage Earthshaker, but it's kind of a weird aggressive tri-lane.
Avos has been playing this hero in the past, so I don't see it.
Fnatic also runs Veno offlane solo. Trixie likes to do that, so it is a possibility.
Alright, so we're going to see the Alliance offensive dueling-ish, offensive trialing with the Loda Mirana. This should be pretty spicy.
Yeah, they have some decent setup for Arrow with Frostbite. It's not really the best, though, so generally when Alliance goes Mirana, they like to set up something like a Bulldog Lone Druid, but it won't be the case this game, as they already have the Bounty Hunter for him, so I'm curious to see what this last pick's going to be. It's looking like maybe even an S4 Windrunner mid, and then they go for a different support for that tri-lane.
I've not seen West4 play Windrunner for... I don't think that's the case. I think they're drafting S4s here right now.
Well, this is not a very good tri-lane for setting up arrows. I mean, you have Frostbite, but that's just not that long.
Yeah, I really don't think they were going to get many kills from the arrow at least, because Earthshaker's already on the map. I think they're looking to do range harass, which when you have three 600 range heroes, and the fact that if you ever get too close, you're eating a Shackle or a Nova, it makes it so difficult for Na'Vi to position their hero, which Visage you don't want to be sending on the front line too much, because you got your defensive stats nerfed. Meanwhile, Death Prophet, so this is like a Death pushing ball, seems like, from Na'Vi.
Yeah, the one area where Death Prophet struggles is just the laning stage. She is very gankable, very squishy, not particularly mobile early on.
Her animation is very awkward as well.
Yeah, she's a good 1v1 hero, not like a specialist per se, but does well in those matchups. And Navi's Death Ball mid-game is ridiculous. But where Alliance could look to punish this is with some early ganks, some early rotations, and potentially even smoking and putting pressure on that Death Prophet. But I think Na'Vi can deal with that early pressure. They have just a lot of heroes that can counter aggression. Venomancer, Earthshaker, and Clockwork all good at protecting the Death Prophet in the mid game. So we'll see Na'Vi now most likely looking to end this game around the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, the one issue you have with Death Prophet is that it's the same hero, even close, when ultimate is on cooldown, and it is a sizable cooldown, so Alliance working with much less cooldown on all of their heroes could take advantage of that and take kind of your hit and run tactics, which, again, their heroes quite capable of doing so. Alliance, looking at the last pickup here, should be S4-0, obviously could change when Windrunner, Mirana, these heroes definitely could go mid as well.
It's a Magnus, behold indeed. So it will be an EGM Windrunner, and it's going to be a solo mid Magnus versus Death Prophet, which turns into a spam war.
Yep.
Magnus not very good at killing Death Prophet early on either, so Denny should have an easy start if he does go mid. That would put Funnick onto your offlane Clockwork, and then, well, a tri-lane Venom. I mean, maybe they go aggressive, put the Clockwork safe lane, but we'll just have to wait and see how Na'Vi want to lane this one. Very strong laning stage for the 4 heroes outside of Death Prophet, but they don't scale particularly well if they don't have a good start.
Yeah, I think the big difference between the Corobulus versus the Magnus mid matchup is that when you have a gank going towards Magnus this game, he's generally going to survive because he's a strength hero, very, very tanky. The same cannot be said for Death Prophet. You Nova, you Shockwave her, she's at half HP. So I feel like if the gank comes, Death Prophet is generally going to go down. So this is a big concern here for Na'Vi. They have to have really good wards, or make sure that tri-lane match up in such a way that the enemy tri-lane cannot gank DP.
Well, let's get into it, guys. It's game 2 of a best-of-5. Alliance already out to a quick and decisive 1-0 lead, and they'll be on the dire side for this particular game. Admiral Bulldog handling your offlane Bounty Hunter. That puts EGM on to support Windrunner, but it probably won't be support Windrunner. Don't be surprised if he's the one farming the lane, and Bulldog is off just harassing supports in the jungle. Ake going to be handling the Crystal Maiden. That will put S4 onto the Magnus, likely going to be the solo mid, rushing the bottle, and then Loda, the safe lane, farming Mirana.
All right. Meanwhile, on Na'Vi, down by 1 game in the best-of-5 series, Puppey buying items here in the well. Earthshakers is going to be his hero. One of his hero that he likes to play quite a bit. Funnig is going to be playing the Clockwork, who on my camera looks like he's sitting deep.
It's covered in oil or something.
Or it's like your underwater Clockwork submerged so far. Funnig is going to be handling that. We're going to have Dendi playing a solo mid Venomancer. So this is what we expect. We saw Havos picking the hero, and then they swap back. So Havos Death Prophet, and then Kuroki on Visage. Venom mid. All right. Let's go.
Interesting. Quick pause, quicker resume, and we'll get into it here as soon as Alliance are ready, and indeed they are now. Wow, that is quite a stat. We'll have another pause here from the Bulldog. Looks like we're not quite ready. But 73% of the tournaments they've entered, they have won. Now, I'm not sure if that... I think that only dates back with the current Alliance roster, not with no Tidehunter. Well, we could check with K-Pop Toastus in a second, I imagine.
I mean, regardless, they
It's
won
very
so
impressive.
much in 2013. That is not that surprising. It looks pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, so as Alliance, they have been not unstoppable, but damn close to it. And we'll see if they can notch another tournament title to their name. They certainly have the inside track, leading 1-0 in the best of 5. And, well, it looks like we are ready to go as long as Navi is. Loda making some Merlini puppy paws jokes, perhaps. A little bit of a blast from a few months ago, you could say, but we'll get back into it. So it'll be a Death Prophet, defensive dual lane, maybe tri-lane, but I imagine Puppy's going to be spending a little bit more time roaming around this game up against the Windrunner Bounty Hunter duo. And Bulldog starting with Boots. Yeah, I expect to see EGM stacking Ancients potentially, but most likely he'll be the one in the lane, and Bulldog will just be harassing the supports in the jungle.
Volvo need to fix this Clockwork because this looks like he's got blood all over him already. At least in my camera. Yours looks fine. Look at mine.
No, he looks the same in mine.
Okay.
Are these his cosmetics? No, he's not even wearing any.
He's got no
He's like
cosmetics.
glowing purple now.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to stop Phonic from making plays, that's for sure. The Illusion Rune will spawn. It's picked up by Kuroki. And we're underway with Game 2. Observer Ward from the Dire side has been planted. And they should see Havos moving through the jungle here. We'll have to see what Puppy wants to do early on. Looks like he's going to be the key hero for Navi in terms of making those early rotations. He does like to do his fissure block into Ancients from time to time, but that will be denied here. Alliance have placed an Observer Ward to spot that out.
All right, so Dendi versus S4 matchup in the mid lane. We've seen this one a billion times. We can see it once again, but it feels like this time S4 should have the advantage. Poison Sting being the first spell for Venomancer is going to try the best to harass, but there's no amount of harass where you could outdo a Bottle Crow, and that's what we're going to see. Maybe he's not even going to get Gale. I think you just go Poison Sting and Wards and leave Gale for maybe level 4. Because for now, I don't think that Gale's going to do much.
Yeah, you definitely want to be maxing the wards as the solo mid Veno. I don't think the Poison Sting Gale build is that strong, unless you can solo kill your lane early on, but Magnus has Skewer. You're not solo killing him without some help, so we'll most likely see Dendi just get 1 point in each, then go for the ward max first. That's sort of your standard way to play it. And I guess the question is, how's he going to fit into their mid game? I'm guessing he'll be the one to build the mech for this team. And we'll see just the Death Prophet tanking up, and Navi around like that 10 to 15 minute mark will start really forcing some of these outer towers. But early on, they will need their levels, and it looks like that's what they're going to focus on.
Yeah, it seems like Denzi's actually missing quite a bit of last hits, missing uphill a couple of times, just getting out denied by S4's big damage. But he is doing a good job in terms of forcing S4 back, but the bottle is coming, so then he's going to have a bigger issue. The problem I have with him playing Venomancer is that the more successful solo mid Venomancer we've seen in the past is the one that just sits there and drop wards and literally does nothing. He gets ganked and he just goes back to the mid lane and sit there more. That's not a Dendi playstyle to me. Dendi's the one that's going around the map, smoke ganking, just causing a terror, and I just don't think Venomancer is a hero for that.
Bulldog on the prowl now, maybe looking for a courier snipe, but not going to find one yet. Also potentially hunting this Earthshaker. They thought he was going to be Ancient pulling. They actually ward blocked it. It did get dewarded by this Sentry Ward here. And, well, they're wrong. He's not there. He dropped an early fissure, but now he's rotated bottom. So they'll just be doing a proper tri-lane. But thing is, it looks like EGM's not really being denied. He hits level 2. He's got his boot scold if he needs it. And
oh, that courier's coming from Dendi. Uh-oh. I don't know. Navi Squirrel.
Most players nowadays either ferry it out, they'll send it through the tree line, or
That
they walk
squirrel.
back to their tier 2.
Oh, it stopped. Yeah. It's looking around.
Yeah, this is what most players are doing nowadays. You just leave it at the tier 2, and you walk back to grab it. Or
Looks
you
like
have
the Earthshaker.
We had the twin-headed dragon delivery service. Now we have the Earthshaker delivery service.
Bulldog's like, WTF, man. This is This is ridiculous.
No, this is what you got to do against Bounty Hunter. Any team that's not doing this is just not playing the matchup properly. So very smart play from Navi.
All right, so Sentry we're gonna get dropped down the mid lane as well. That's gonna see Admiral Bulldog. Admiral Bulldog just reveals himself. So far so good here. It seems like Loda's the big winner in terms of the last hit chart, getting 17 up top. Not gonna have time to get actually a good kill though. Clockwork Hog is gonna be very annoying for actually stealing that kill.
Yeah, and if you're not getting kills on Mirana, you're mainly using it for Moonlight Shadow. Else you just be better off with other carries, like Gyrocopter, for example. Any of Loda's many strong late-game heroes. So we'll have to see how they look to use this Mirana as the game drags on, but they're not getting one of the big advantages out of the hero. That is the early killing potential so far.
Yeah, also a big concern here for Navi is that if you look at Puppey, he's still a level 1. Now, Earthshaker's one of those supports that essentially is the same hero, level 1 to 5, so he can, just sit at level 1 for a long time, but you definitely want him to not be level 1 for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, I don't think you want him level 1 for the remainder of the game either. Puppey up to 500 gold simply by not dying. He does have access into boots now if he wants to pick them up. We'll see what he goes for, but keeping an eye on this middle lane. Dendi very slightly ahead at 18 and 8, but it's what we talked about. You just can't really stop Magnus from getting his farm. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Bulldog nearly going down. Havos, he will have a nuke cooling now. Does he go for the blind carrion swarm? He will not. I almost killed Bulldog here, but not quite able to do it.
I think Dendi may be dropping a ward and denying it. My girl, the ward auto attack.
That first auto attack just it naturally aggroes on the hero and just couldn't manually target it quick enough.
Well, that was a bottle regen full, so that's unfortunate for Dendi.
Yeah, S4 with the Hasterin picked up. He now sends his Kuro back, and ultimately, if you get to the mid... Oh, S4!
Skewer?
He is thinking about it.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
he could do it now? Whoa.
No, the Earthshaker's here now, so if he goes for this, it could actually end rather poorly.
Yeah, I like the fact that Dendi is actually leveling up Poison Sting against a melee hero. Like, the wards are fine. The ward's going to give you last hits, but you could harass him so much more, and that's exactly what we see out of...
Well, and they help your ward, so, ward max or Poison Sting max, unless you're leveling up Gale, this is kind of similar either way. It's just meaning that, either your wards are hitting harder from the passive, or they're just hitting harder because they are tankier and do more damage.
I even think, obviously, the patch before this, if you did do solo mid Venzo for whatever reason, you still do this build that Dendi's doing right now. The Poison Sting is just so good here. And it looks like we are going to see Ring of Basilius coming out from Venomancer. So that's 2 Ring of Basilius on the same team. You have one on the Death Prophet on the bot lane, and then one on mid lane. None of these heroes are standard ROB heroes, but looks like just getting it for value.
Yeah, we did see the Ring of Basilius. Oh, S4 actually eating a Gal. He does have Magic Stick charges and RP. Dendi going for the solo kill. This should be your first blood. S4 dropping low. He needs to TP out.
He does.
He'll do it quickly. Is he going to tick down in time?
Ooh, close.
Just barely. The courier gives his bottle, and he needs these bottle charges.
Man, Dendi was missing like 5 points of mana. He could have put a ward up high on the high ground and then had him attack him, and that would have been enough for the kill. So, very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, also skilled Poison Nova at level 6, which we see plenty of Venos do skip and just go for the wards, the Poison State max, but that's a skill, that's a lot of mana out there.
Clockwork Hook going on the mid lane here, EGM though. Gonna win run out of there. Funnick, maybe a little bit slow on that call. Could have got the kill, definitely.
That'll be fine. Meanwhile, there's some sort of strange conveyor belt. I wonder where this leads. What's going on here? This courier's got a leash.
It's the puppet strings.
I'm so confused.
Aki's
Dota 2 is dying. I think it's turning into a dead game here, Lumi.
Very, very so alive right now.
Very alive. Yeah. Oh, the courier, it'll be on its puppet strings. It'll head back mid, but they Gale out S4 again. His CS still even with Dendi's.
This thing is just killing him.
I think he's dead here.
Yeah,
Skewer
he is.
Available.
One more.
Deny.
Oh, miss up the hill. S4's gonna survive again because of that.
He's still taking down to the poison, but it's not gonna be enough to pin
rocket
him down.
flare. Holy crap.
They are hating hard on S4, but this probably will be your first blood. Gale comes out again. Low ground to high ground. They isolate the Crystal Maiden, and they don't get the big prize in the Magnus, but they'll take it.
Yeah, it seems for all it's worth. And looks like Admiral Bulldog is going to go down here on the bot lane as well. Kuroki missing the power, or sorry, EGM missing the power shot there and not killing another hero. Suddenly, 2 Navi kills out of nowhere.
Yeah, simultaneously finding the kill mid, finding the kill bottom lane. They lead 2-0. I still think Alliance is the kind of lineup that can be behind, though. They don't really need to win the laning stage. They just need to try and get out their basics up. The track gold, the level 7, along with Blink Dagger on S4, those are the key things for them. And S4, despite being harassed a lot, is keeping up okay in terms of CS, but now bottom lane, there will be a battery assault from Funnick. Found him with the hook shot. Will be finding the kill in EGM. Another play from Funnick. Back of one of his signatures. He's making it work, but he's going to pay.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You drew out, what, 2 teleport scrolls after killing a hero, and then Dendy's free to do whatever he wants on the mid lane. I kind of want to take back what I said about the matchup, because the way that Dendy's been playing it by maxing the Poison Sting, he's actually doing a very good job of constantly harassing Magnus now. And Magnus, well, he could bottle up, but he's still losing a ton of HP through that bottle because of the poison damage. So this matchup is not nearly as lopsided as I would imagine.
Well, I think this is where you really have to credit the support heroes, because we saw an early rotation from the offlane Clockwork. We saw an early rotation 3 or 4 times from Puppey with multiple fissures. If it's the true 1v1, S4 was keeping up in CS, and ultimately, I think...
there you go. Gale and Poison Nova going off again. The Skewer not being come out here. And S4...
he knows he's dead here, so just wants to try and take someone with him.
Pretty close. He does
He could be denied, though.
2 stick on the 1. Oh!
EGM didn't see that coming.
Yeah. He should realize that's coming, because earlier when he was dropping low, another rocket flamed him, so... Clockwork Hook's gonna go in the mid lane. Funnick's just playing out of his mind right now.
What is this game? Last game was just a complete beatdown by Alliance, and now it's just Na'Vi. It's like the last game I think started 6-1, and this game starting 5-1, the exact opposite direction.
I'm gonna call it Radiant advantage, man. That side of map OP and more pretty.
Do you care to explain why, or you're just gonna say
Radiant
that?
A lot prettier than Dire. Dire is meth ugly, and then that's some emotional impact when you're playing on Dire.
Oh boy. Well, they do get a drums up now on Havost on the Death Prophet, and this is where Na'Vi start to get scary. It's not even their laning states that you should really be worried about. It's this mid game with the familiars coming out for Kuroki, the Death Prophet Ultimate online, the max Plague Wards will be next for Dendy, I imagine. No, actually leveling up Gale. Is he going to max Gale and just leave Plague Wards level 1? Maybe he tries to play like that semi-carry Veno. That would definitely be a big departure from any Veno we've seen in a long time, but... we'll see if that's what he goes for, but still, the push power, even with level 1 Plague Wards, will be very fearsome.
Yeah, the one thing about maxing Venom Wards is that you don't actually get the huge DPS output that Venomancer can possibly get, but can you imagine with max Gale at level 11 and then Poison Nova? You hit that on 3 or 4 hero, and you Poison Nova them, like all of them are just flat out dying. This is a build that we don't see too often because it's a lot riskier. If you miss a Gale, it doesn't do much. A Gale goes off in the mid lane, and look at S4, half HP, he just has to skewer out because... if he doesn't, he's going to just be dead.
Yeah, he's under a lot of duress here. He does farm his Arcane Boots up despite all of that, and he'll pick up the Arcane Boots now. And with the Arcane Boots, he should be able to just sit really far back in Shockwave spam and not even get Galed, but he keeps on getting Galed by Denny. I feel like just trying to be too greedy contesting for last hits. You don't even want to go in for the right clicks. Just use your Shockwave to farm.
It seems like Alliance wants to get a backstab gank here against
got level 6 on Admiral Bulldog. He's also got Phase Boots online. There's a Fissure available, but meanwhile, there's also action middle lane as Dendy's on the run. They're looking for 2 kills
Fissure.
here. Puppey comes in with the Fissure on S4. RP gets canceled. He didn't have the angle for it. Shockwave off the mark. Now a hook shot on through. It's going to connect on creeps now. Aki on the run. I think he ticks down here to that Poison Stain. Battery Assault finishes the kill. And that'll be it. So just the Crystal Maiden falling. But
that's
no
a big
track
issue
kill there.
Funnick like left the lane for the past, I don't want to, 5-6 minutes it feels like, and he's got himself up to a phase with just off of these ganks. He's 5-1-0 out of Navi's 6 kills. He's got his phase, and he's just going to kill support heroes all day long.
Yeah, Na'Vi go back to their standard laney assignments and more of their typical roles. The draft's still a bit unusual for them, but, well, they're making it work. Havos does pop his ultimate bottom lane. He's going to apply pressure to the tier 1 here, while we see the rest of the team pressuring the middle lane. And it looks like they should be able to get a tower soon. The arrow comes in, does clip the range creep, and it may slow down the push. If they don't get the towers now, they definitely will in round 2.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised by the item choice that Havos is going for. Drum's obviously a very, very good item on Death Prophet, but she's one of those heroes that you want to get as tanky as possible. And things like Vanguard could come into hand. Mech would be very good. Obviously, Dendy is working on the mech. Yule Scepter give you some deceptive tank because you could throw yourself up in the air. So
yeah, the Yules is the other big one. It also removes track, which is very useful versus Bounty Hunter. That's the one that we've seen from Dendy when he played the Death Prophet. I think that's a pretty strong choice, but yeah, either tanking up or going Yules is the likely build here from Havost.
Meanwhile, might die here though.
Oh no, here comes Bulldog. He needs help though. I don't think he can solo kill this Death Prophet.
Not with Shaker here.
Well, yeah, definitely not now. And is he going to find anyone in the end?
Shaker can be
We're
killed.
going Puppy,
Nova,
though.
where's the
Tracks
bite?
there. Level 2 Shuriken Toss. This should be
Fissure,
the kill.
oh, the Frostbite canceling the Fissure animation. That's going to be it. Meanwhile, Bulldog's on the run. The birds are on top. There's a dust. Can they actually get the kill? Bulldog juking himself. Look at the Crystal Maiden ultimate on the background. Bulldog finally will die, but definitely got the experience, as well as another track kill. Here comes a rotation coming out from Dendy. Dendy's going to get all.
Needs the
Gale.
TP. He knows those familiar
He's
stuns
dead.
are
He's
cooldown.
dead.
No!
The poison? Oh, the deep's not enough.
That was the familiars just having their fresh, like, maximum damage output. Between that and the poison stain, he was just melting. But that's great game sense from S4. He keeps track of the familiar stuns, knows they're on cooldown from the earlier fight, and doesn't panic, just calmly TPs out, barely lives.
Yeah, if he TP a second late, he was dead. His HP was dropping fast. And again, I am concerned with this build coming out from Na'Vi. The fact that it's so hard for you to fight against. When you have Death Prophet Ghost in the air and Poison Nova and wards everywhere around you, you're not going to survive. It doesn't matter. I think you just need to BKB up. Well, actually, BKB doesn't do anything against Death Prophet either.
Yeah, I think for Alliance, they just more don't want to take huge 5v5 clashes right now. They need the Magnus Blink Dagger to come out. They have a good split push lineup. Windrunner as well as Mirana, all both good at that. But they're going on Funnick top lane, as you mentioned. Arrow is available for Funnick. He'll let it fly. Or for Loda, rather. And, well, it's available for Funnick, but not the kind of availability he's looking for. Meanwhile, Na'Vi, despite trying to group up and pressure middle lane, they pump their mech, but this is where the Shockwave spam, the level 4 power shot spam, good luck getting up this hill. And how else do they get up here? It's got to be the Funnick hook shots. If they're not getting that initiation, I honestly don't think they can push.
Yeah, I think this is something where you maybe force a kill. You talk about the Funnick hook shot. Another way to do it is drop a Fissure, drop a Gale. Just use your long-range spam to actually do the work. Also, they have Death Prophet that's doing quite a bit of number on that bot tier 1 tower as well. So passively, they're slowly whittling down these towers, but not in a rate where they want to be and need to be. Because again, Venomancer, Death Prophet, these are not exactly heroes that you want to take 50, 60 minutes into a game. So they need to do something, and they need to do something fast.
Here comes Funnick. It's been a magical start for him. He's level 5. He's smoked up and rotating to look for the solo kill on Ake. If they get this kill, this will be a very easy kill. Meanwhile, or very easy tower, I should say. Meanwhile, the Familiar comes in middle lane. But really want to keep our eye on this Clockwork, because if he gets this kill, the tier 1 falls. It might fall anyway. There will be no defense.
Yeah. Tier 1 going down.
Now the Familiars, they've isolated Ake.
I think the Familiars need to run, because they got no stun. Or one of them does not.
Yeah. They could have gone for a hookshot Familiar snipe there, but then your Clockwork probably died, so that would not have been a great trade. Meanwhile, Havost is going to be tanking up. He picks up a Perseverance a bit. Probably going for Bloodstone build here, maybe Lincoln's, but Funnick shackled up under tower. He's dropping pretty fast. He does get mech'd up by Dendy. Still alive. It's not enough. He will go down regardless.
Yeah, that was a very awkward hook in the sense that none of his teammates were really available, so it's quite questionable. Didn't work out there, and suddenly Funnick is 5-1 scored, now becomes 5-3, has lost quite a bit of steam in the last couple of minutes.
Oh, unfortunately, Puppy, he blocked Dendy away there. That Fissure on Crystal Maiden would have been an easy kill, but Na'Vi will still look to take this tier 1 mid. There's no glyph available right now for the Alliance, and 16 minutes in, the pressure is mounting, but there's a ticking time bomb on the enemy team, and we don't normally say that about Mirana, but he had a very fast Midas, and it has been left completely unchecked. A ranged agility hero with an early Midas, who is left unchecked all game, will eventually be a very fearsome DPS force.
Yeah, Na'Vi really want to take this tier 1 tower without expending Death Prophet's ultimate, because level 1 Death Prophet ultimate is not where you want to spam too much. You want to get that to level 2. Looks like they are going to get it without too much hassle.
The track comes out in Kuroki, but Na'Vi just calmly rotate off the lane. Where do they go next is the question. Invis Rune does spawn top, and we'll see who looks to pick this up. It'll be Dendy. They might go for the tier 1 top, but I think Alliance are content to give up these tier 1s. They make it take forever. They're getting closer all the time to that S4
They might get a kill on the mid lane. Fissure's going to hit Gale. Poison Nova going on EGM, and well, he's not taking any physical damage yet, but he will. Look at the damage output.
They're content to give up towers as far as I see it, but giving up kills is something they do not want to be doing, because the combination is going to put Na'Vi very far ahead.
Yeah, and both the heroes that you want to be 11 is 11. Death Prophet as well as Poison Nova, Venomancer. So the game is on here for Na'Vi. I think they really need to start looking at tier 2 as well, because like you said, Mirana will come online very soon. With the man style being able to debuff Poison Nova is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and Loda, Yasha picked up, I mean, he could go back for another item, but the problem is, like, BKB is not really suitable this game against Death Prophet and the familiar physical damage output, so I imagine we are going to see him complete the Manta style. Maybe he just goes straight into another right-click item, but he would be a little bit squishy if he doesn't finish it.
Yeah, maybe even like a Manta back into like lifesteal. You just want to get some kind of HP. The lifesteal Hamlet Dominator actually does give you the armor, which is okay against a Vol's Death Prophet. So it's quite awkward as a Mirana item, but might work out.
Yeah,
here.
I feel normally you see Mirana like you'll go for that Hamlet Dominator like after you have a couple damage items because she just doesn't hit hard in general. She's one of the weakest hitting carry heroes in the game, and well, if you go straight, I mean, even with this Yasha, like you can see just scratching Funnick basically. So generally, I think that's something you would get later on, but it is a possibility for him if he wants to go for it.
Yeah, it seems like Navi's setting up shop here for the tier 2. For now, they're okay. The one thing that we haven't talked about is that Magnus has picked up that Blink Dagger.
But he has to be smoked or coming from the side because
Exactly.
otherwise the wards will always stop him.
Venom wards are just so annoying to deal
And
against.
the Clockwork Rockets actually. Meanwhile though, Bulldog,
Gonna get
he's gonna
courier.
find a Weasel Crow.
Radiant's
Yep.
middle tower
See
is
ya.
under attack.
So by the way, the courier got detected going this way by this ward, and Bulldog just like, guys, I got a courier.
I think it might have also been this ward because they've got two kind of in the same neighborhood.
Middle
yeah.
tower is under
So
attack.
he had plenty of time to just crouch and anticipate that one.
Normally, like a lot of teams are like, oh, there's a courier coming by. Let's check what items on it. They checked it was a sentry ward, and then it's like, oh, I could still kill it as well. So
Well, you can have your sentry wards. I'll take a courier kill. And getting kills like that is a big deal for Alliance because right now Navi's operating on what should be like a tower gold advantage, having taken out the tier 1 mid and the tier 1 bottom and gunning to take a tier 2 soon, which we saw them grouping up to do. But if you give up a courier kill, if you start giving up track kills, then all of a sudden the lineup that's supposed to get an early gold lead and kind of roll from there comes behind. And well, Alliance are going to look to turn the tides of this engagement. They smoke up. They head directly towards the bottom lane.
Death Prophet.
S4 catches out 2, does not get the Earthshaker though. Quick counter initiation coming out from the Fissure. Now the dunk isn't enough. Havos dropping low. He's going to skewer and look to run the hell away. Shackle shot even connected. They still get S4. It's a 1-for-1 after the RP. And now they got to run. They are not fighting this Death Prophet ult.
that skewer might have actually saved Death Prophet because he pushed him away from EGM as well as Crystal Maiden Ultimate. EGM, he's out of TP square as well. Crystal Maiden's going to get detected. There is Clockwork Hook available. There is a Fissure. Oh, no, never mind because Puppy's going to block the Fissure.
Puppy and Funnick, rare moment where they're not page. And is there a Fissure? Yeah, 1 second cooling down.
This
I
is a
think they still get
deep
this kill.
dive though. Yeah, they're going to get it. I'm surprised that nobody TP for that.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, and while they're doing that, Loda is completing his Manta style. He's already got the ultimate orb. He's got the Manta recipe.
Radiant's
Mirana might come online as a hard carry this game by like the 35 to 40 minute mark, which is very early
Vol's
for her.
in big trouble in the bot lane. He gets mech'd up here, and Dendi dropping poison stings everywhere. EGM dropping low. The wards are focusing on the EGM. EGM's gonna go down to the poison sting. One more hit. Yes, there is. Meanwhile, looks like Death Prophet is completely fine as well. They're thinking about going back here.
Back on S4. He's got a skewer available, but he's just melting to that nuke damage from the Venomancer. It's driven off. Remember, they are fighting without Loda, but I mean, at some point, Loda's got to get involved here because his team is starting to bleed quite a bit.
Yeah, Loda does have the Manta finish. Again, a very important part of removing that Poison Nova. But I'm not sure what it does for you to stop a push. I think Na'Vi could, what they want to do right now is just 5-man down mid and just get a tower. The only thing that's really going to stop them is an S4 RP.
The only other thing would just be eventually if Alliance can split push fast enough, but it's tough to do it against a Clockwork, and especially Funnick, who aside from that rather unfortunate puppy body block, has been sniping everybody with those hooks. I mean, we've seen him, even when he's overextending, he's still hitting the hooks, so that can make it a little bit hard for some of these heroes to split push, but not for Mirana. She can just leap right out.
Yeah. The one thing that we are not really talking about Mirana's damage output is we see Funnick going for the... He got even shackled throughout, but what a play from Funnick, getting vision out of just a rocket. He's just in no-man territory by himself. He's trying to kill everybody. Here comes assistant from Kuroki. He doesn't have to mech. The dust is going to come out. Admiral Bulldog gets drawn back, and Funnick's still alive somehow. Finally is going to die. And
But
the track
okay,
goes
he'll
up.
be the trade here. 2 for 1 so far, and they ain't done yet. They're diving for Bulldog. He has been dusted up. And Alliance, they're almost playing this like a, just like having like an anti-mage or a Coddle PL. Like Mirana just not coming to fights, and
Yeah.
Loda just going to be purely split pushing.
The big difference is that Mirana could still help out the team with Moonlight Shadow. I actually think that was Alliance victory. Even though they lost one more hero, they got a tier 1 tower, and they also got a track hill. But the downside is that they're going to lose a tier 2 of their own. But I think they were going to lose this tier 2 regardless, because there's no way you're defending against Death Prophet.
Yeah, so it's certainly not after giving him those kills. The net winner, and maybe it's the best trade Alliance could get, but with the tier 2 falling, then it
Dendi.
goes back Navi's way.
Getting Shackle, Moonlight Shadow is going to come
He's
through
very
as well.
tanky here, though. Puppy, however, not so tanky. Does unload the Fissure, but he's caught out in no man's land. Drops the dunk, tries to charge in. He knows he's dead. He gets what damage out he can. But now your Shackle Flies connects on Dendi. Havos, the ult about to end. They're going to get 2 here RP'd. This is always a risk against the Meg.
though.
They're going to lose a lot, though, here. They're going to lose 3. Crystal Maiden ult coming in. Ake dropping low. They do lose 3. 3 for 2 so far. Not the worst trade for Na'Vi, but they did overextend there quite a bit.
They did quite a bit. I think maybe Havos, if he got a good silence off against S4, that could have done it. But Dendi getting Shackle, and the fact that Puppey basically forced Dendi to use mech on a support Earthshaker and didn't have a mech for himself was really what cost eventually the team fight. Ammo Bulldog trying to cut off Kuroki, and I think he might even find him. No, he's going to just check bot rune.
It's one of those, like, who's catching off who situations, though, because I think Kuroki can just turn around with a Grave Chill, Soul Assumption, and Familiar Stuns and maybe get that kill. So, Bulldog's going to have to go back home. He'll heal up. He is working towards the BKB. As for Alliance, this is getting to be a very far Mirana, keeping up with Havost, and ultimately as much damage as a Death Prophet can do, which is absolutely ridiculous, and way more than a Mirana until maybe, like, 6-slotted territory. Problem is, Death Prophet's not as good at, like, getting off her damage when she wants to. She's not that mobile. She relies on her team to lock heroes down, whereas Mirana can chase you down with the right click, so we'll have to see which player's more effective with their farm. So far, I'd say it's been the Death Prophet, but as the game goes later, I expect to see Loda having a bigger and bigger impact.
So, speaking of that Death Prophet, he's got himself a Bloodstone, which I like
and an Ultimate Orb.
I mean,
He's really farmed.
The Ultimate Orb makes sense because he's going for Hex, and that's always a good item. I'm not sure whether I buy the Bloodstone. The Bloodstone, obviously, the HP component, the mana, like the raw mana component, is very, very nice. The regen components, I'm not sure what a Death Prophet needs, because Death Prophet, the way that her hero plays, you drop that ultimate and you just survive, or you try to survive as long as possible. I think having raw, better HP is better. I don't feel like the regen component really contribute the way that to the Death Prophet playstyle.
So what would you go for here instead? Just a straight Heart of Tarask, a BKB? Like, what should he have gotten instead?
Yeah, I think Yule Scepter, if you want to get that pseudo-survival, is not a bad way to start. Gold Scepter, if you're afraid of Loda. There's a ton of items. Heart, for example, is also very, very good.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's still a very nice item here, and if you do focus Havos, your team gets some incidentally healing, but I'm not sure whether that incidental healing is worth losing all of your Death Prophet damage output.
Well, it gives Havost a way to be suicidal and help his team.
I suppose.
We know
quote-unquote help his team. The best way for him to help his team is to survive.
Yeah, at least until the ult ends, and then whatever happens, happens. But this is where Loda, going for that Manta-style build, probably the best split-pushing Mirana build you can go for. Arrow's going to fly, does land on Funnick, he'll get the tower, and he's going to get out. Beautifully played. I don't think we'll see a hook shot here. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The leap's already used.
Oh no. Funnick's caught him out, but there is no detection here. If he gets off a Moonlight Shadow, he might live. Battery Assault will not. Oh, he doesn't fade fast enough.
Because he used Starstorm. I think that was where you just pray to Ice Rock and says, alright, hope this Moonlight Shadow fade me quickly enough. I think that was 2 mistakes here by Loda in a row, leaping, you know, a little bit awkward.
Oh, meanwhile, Alliance are going to look to bounce back here. They find Havos. They drop every single
Silence on 4.
Mech. Is he going to live? The Bloodstone HP.
And here comes Stendi with a big deep of Poison Nova. One's going to TP out. Ak is trying to TP out as well. The woes of a Venomancer can't do jack squat against TP.
Yeah, he's like Bloodseeker in that regard. Just a very sad panda.
Well, I guess
a little more useful than a Bloodseeker. But
one way to deal with the TP scroll is to kill them faster than they can TP out, which Stendi is working towards to. Level 16 as well as an Axe Scepter. He will have it in about 800 gold. You think he's hurting right now. Wait till you see the big axe. 1765, I think it was the max damage.
As good as that is now, Alliance are probably going... Well, actually, they're going triple BKB. I was thinking maybe double, but triple BKB, so every single one of their cores will not care at all about Dendi.
Yeah, that's
the Poison Nova won't affect them. The Poison Sting's magical. That won't affect them. The Poison Nova, and the Venomous Gale, I should say. Then this Venomancer can just be dropping wards, which is nice to cancel Blink Dagger, but he really will start to fall off against these characters.
Yeah, and that's where Havos needs to be your big damage 24/7, which he definitely can do if he survives. So
he tanked through like a ridiculous onslaught of nukes. The one thing was, though, they didn't have Mirana there. I think with Mirana there, that kill happens easily.
Yeah, the big key issue right now for Alliance is that they're down RP for 30 seconds. And 30 seconds is a world of time for Havos to drop his ultimate. And here we go. Shame that it's not a level 16 ultimate, but he'll charge up the hill regardless.
Yeah, the Ghost's going to start to go to work. This tower is just going to melt. Death Prophet is really a wrecking ball.
Oh, arrow's going to hit.
Tower, but no, gets caught out of position. Pulled in. Can they kill her off in time is the question. Havos dropping low will end up going down. The Ghost dissipated. Now Na'Vi have been bailed into a very, very bad engagement.
The Fissure also blocked Dendi out of the base, so he can't actually go in and mech Havos. I think the range might have been enough regardless, but that's a case where Yule Scepter will be a lot better. You could get focused, you use yourself up, and suddenly their team is dying. Meanwhile, Lotus on the chase. He wants Funnick to revenge kill. Meanwhile, Funnick thinking about hooking in. He does. The Gale's going to hit. The BKB comes out. The Shockwave. Shit, no. Funnick jukes to the right. He's going to be okay, I think. Meanwhile,
that
yeah,
Gale
S4
slow does go through BKB. If the Magic Community, if it hits you first, and he is still slowed, Loda unable to pursue him
RP?
out. Now S4 getting caught. He's going to go down. Does try to drop the RP. Oh, S4?
They have another hook. Funnick's got Axe Scepter, so it's going to be cooling down very, very soon. Loda's going to get detected. Ammo Bulldog's going to TP out. And meanwhile, in fact, the entire team TP out.
Okay, so that fight started here at the Dire base, and it ended up over here. That's just ridiculous.
One thing that Alliance is doing an excellent job is just TPing away against this team because there's not many stuns. Aside from that Clockwork and the Earthshaker Fissure, which has like cooldown of a century, you just kind of TP out against all these kind of nukes and slows and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate. If Loda just BKB'd immediately before the Gale came out, he easily picks off that Clockwork he gets out. But
yeah, he
was slowed, and even with track move speed, it was not enough to get him in range. So I don't think he had vision there, didn't see the Veno coming, but just kind of unfortunate for Alliance that it worked out that way. And, well, now I'm not sure who is going to take this game, Lumi. I feel like both teams have their strengths. Na'Vi, they can take more regular fights, whereas Alliance really do rely on RP to take those engagements. But if they hit the good RPs, then they can come out on top here. And I think if the game goes another 20 minutes like this, I would favor the team with the Mirana over the Death Prophet.
Yeah, I really think that Na'Vi just missed their timing with that mid-engagement where the Skewer from Havos, or Seer from S4 got Havos. You got to keep in mind that they did not have RP available. They still got a kill on Havos and stop the push back in the mid lane. EGM is going to get, well...
Force Staff, he'll get right out. But Familiar Stone might go down anyway. Earn Charge, all the nukes in the world coming out. Is there a positive Earn available?
They have one more hook.
Tick, tick,
talk. So much tick damage, man, from this team. And here we go. They're going to try once again. Again, if they miss these timing, triple BKB is going to be on the line. That means Dendi's not going to be a factor anymore. Dendi, by the way, still does not have the Axe Scepter finish. They have RP to deal against as well. This is not looking good for Na'Vi. Also, if you want to look at the goal graph, it's been steadily dipping since that, till that engagement happened where they got a couple kills.
Look at this Roshan. Havost is going to kill it in like 20 seconds by himself.
But that means they don't have Death Prophet ultimate.
You wait for the ult to cool down before you go high ground. That's true, but it's worth it. Getting the Aegis here is very important.
Getting the Aegis, and more importantly, getting the last hit on Roshan. Give it to Havos, because he's going to have Scythe after that. Did Kuroki take it? I think Kuroki took it.
Yeah, he wanted his eggs. His eggs is more important than Havost's Scythe.
Scythe is...
I'm tongue-in-cheek. I think you want that Scythe.
You want that Scythe.
But yeah, this is all buying time for Alliance to get their BKBs out, which are coming soon. Bounty Hunter BKB complete. Your Magnus BKB not yet complete, but will be soon. And if Na'Vi want to take this much later, then they need to do so by getting big items out. So Dendi's gone for like your very mid-game oriented Veno build.
It's late.
The Ags.
The Ags is
now
late.
You go back for the Deeps of some kind or just Lockdown. Like get a Scythe out here. Maybe you go Manta style. Veno's not a great right-click hero in the mid and late game, but he's serviceable. He is an agility hero. He's a ranged hero.
Actually,
he could be worse.
With the new changes of Venom Wards, like... I used to think that Manta style is a fairly decent item for Venomancer if you're trying to go for this like jokesy, semi-carry build, because your Poison Sting does pass through your illusions.
Okay.
But obviously you have your wards now, so you don't need to kind of do that ghetto Manta style stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess the point remains that they'll need to go for some bigger late game items to make up for the fact that outside of Death Prophet, none of their heroes just go that late, to be honest. And I mean, maybe they'll have some more timing windows coming up. Like Puppy's about to get Blink Dagger. That'll be an opening for them. They did just get the Ags on the Visage, but I still feel you don't want to be going ultra late game against Alliance where one RP just wins them the game. They get 3 or 4 track kills, and you just never have a chance to bounce back from there.
I mean, as nice as the Blink Dagger is from the Earthshaker, you got to keep in mind that you cannot chain stun by yourself as an Earthshaker against BKBs. You get Echo, and that hurts, but you could BKB dodge the Enchant Totem or the Fissure that will follow through. So I'm not sure whether even the Blink Dagger from Earthshaker will win the game.
Yeah, it definitely won't like guarantee them a team fight win. It's more just maybe it helps them get a pick off and then transition into a push.
It's definitely a surprise and instant initiation, which is actually very good with BKB.
Yeah.
Also, the Scythe is gonna tie you over to. You could actually probably kill one person from 100% health to 0, even going through the mech, which is fairly impressive damage output for a team that's consisting of Venomancer and a Death Prophet. So, again, I don't think Navi's out of it, but their timing window has, I think, shut. Like, they have to outplay Alliance now. It's not as easily as march down the mid lane and win. I think they have missed that quite a bit.
Yeah, and Loda is getting really big now. He picks up a Helm of the Dominator. Very defensive Mirana build. We have not seen any damage items out yet. Normally, after you see a BK... Oh, hook shot. Hold that thought. Was that... Did that... I think the Chen creep... I think the Chen creep just blocked the hook on Ake. That was the Helm of the Dominator creep for Loda that he's been using to... Maybe was planning to stack Ancients with. If that's not there, I think they get that kill. So, nice, a little bit of luck there for Ake. There was no vision, so I don't even think he saw that coming.
Also, Crystal Maidens also joining the BKB parade. This is the right way to do things.
Yeah, there is still RP available to cancel her ult. Or no, sorry, getting my teams mixed up here. But there's not much for Navi to deal with the BKB. Just a hook shot, really.
Yeah.
And you do not want to be wasting that on Crystal Maiden in a team fight.
Yeah, I mean, generally you say, hey, I have a Death Prophet, you have a Crystal Maiden, I silence, that will be the end of it. Not when BKBs are online. I think Navi is going to fall prey to these BKBs if they don't do something soon.
This is just a smart itemization from Alliance. Some of these heroes already want BKB. Magnus generally wants BKB. So too does Bounty Hunter. And Mirana, it's a fairly common item, but going for it on your supports just shows that Alliance really understands the strength of Navi's lineup, which is magic damage.
Yep.
And if you get quad BKB, quintuple BKB, then Navi run out of ammunition pretty quickly.
So I think Kuroki needs to desperately go back for an Acceptor. Or, sorry, not Acceptor, a Medallion Courage after his Acceptor.
Oh, yeah. I was going to mention that earlier. I was very surprised he didn't have one, because even just going for Roche would have helped them a lot.
Yeah, going for Roche to aid your damage output, your familiars. But more importantly, you got to keep in mind that the Death Prophet ultimates are physical damage. You drop a Medallion on a BKB Mirana, she's going to just melt way quicker than she could kill Havos. You need to make sure that Havos kills the enemy team as soon as possible.
Yeah, if you're not killing Loda, then he's probably bringing your Death Prophet down. That means the ult ends, and that means you are out of the fight. So Alliance now, I mean, this is where we went over it in our pregame in quite detail, but generally Alliance, they're comfortable in this kind of position against Navi, where they have what they feel is a late-game edge, even if only a slight one, and they just sit back and wait for Navi to make mistakes. They don't really force aggressive engagements. You don't see them pressing as 5 mid, trying to force tier 2s. It's more reaction, just wait for the opportunities, then react and punish Navi for aggression. And I gotta say, I think this is their comfort zone. It's up to Navi to take them out of it.
Yeah, Navi has Aegis for 1 minute, so I think this is time where you walk up the hill, turn on your ultimate, and go. And that's what Havos has in mind as well.
There's a glyph here, though, and the creep wave is about to die.
So the one thing about Death Prophet is that if you're attacking from low ground to high ground like that, it takes a bit of your time for your ghost to travel and hit. And you do minimize your damage output by quite a bit, but obviously it's much safer as a position. Clockwork Hook flies and misses. Got low cooldown. Gonna try again a little bit later on.
Yeah, it's the Acceptor for the Clockwork. It's about to come up. While this is happening, there's a push mounting top from Loda, but out comes your Fissure. The tier 3 does fall, but that's your Death Prophet ult down. Now Navi have to retreat. Meanwhile, Loda
looking to cancel some TPs, as per usual.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's made this is his bread and butter. And with track move speed, he'll get in range for Puppey. He does pop his BKB. He really wants to go for a skewer here, not blow an RP just on an Earthshaker, but will be forced back. They've got a gem up. They're actually tracking him down here. RP only going to connect on the Familiars and Kuroki.
Uh-oh.
That's an RP down. This could be the break for Navi to go high ground.
BKB TP, where's the look? Line it up. Oh no, the bird's blocking it.
Damn it, Ake. Damn it, Ake.
Damn it, Kuroki, I think the bird's...
yeah, sorry, Kuroki.
But regardless, it's RP down, and they have Death Prophet ultimate back up in 30 seconds. I don't even know where Dendi was in all of this. I think he was defending the push, but whatever the case is, the mech has joined the team as well, and here we go. This is the one chance that Navi's going to get to break base.
Well, definitely their best chance as I see it over the next 10 to 50 minutes. If it goes that
They're
long...
going to go for the range racks.
The range racks a little tankier in this patch as well. It's got...
They need a DPO, man. Without it, they just don't do any damage.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see them focusing. Maybe they just feel they don't have time to go for the melee racks here, but the Death Prophet ult will be cooling down pretty soon. Out comes your track.
I think you go again. You have DPL soon. Go, go, go. There we go.
Yeah, if you don't go now, then RP is going to be online. So they'll take their first lane of Rax here. Even a buyback wouldn't have helped them. Magnus did not have the ult. Without the ult, they can't fight. And I think that's where you got to look at the way Alliance approach that. And
Rax got denied for what it's worth.
it was cute to try and cancel some TPs, but
Actually,
they dove way too far and didn't need to do so.
Tier 3 is quite low as well. DP Ultimate's running out very, very soon. There's Heart available on Crobulus, but for now, it's an initiation that needs to come from Alliance. I think they're going to wait it out. It is going to be out now. Pipe is also used, and that's for looking for the RP. No, Skewer is going to miss as well. These birds flying left, flying right. You can see that Dendy's posing to drop his ultimate as well.
Poke shot once again, just slightly off the mark there from Funnick. Can't get the initiation off. Now Loda, scythed up. In comes Dendy. He's going to unload with the Poison Nova. It's up to Loda to try and get these kills, but the very tanky build he went for, he's lacking on damage output here. Can't bring anyone down. Now he's forced to leap away, and with his BKB down, it gets harder and harder to fight. Meanwhile, Earthshaker clipping that Windrunner on the retreat out. More tracks flying forth, but Na'Vi, they're just going to wait for this Death Prophet ult to cool down. Maybe they go heal, and then they will go for their second lane of Rax.
Again, there's RP available, but the more difficult thing is that Death Prophet now has a heart on top of everything. 3,200 HP, 9 base armor. That's a very tanky beast to go through. Also, what we saw in the last team fight was that Dendy was useless. He dropped his Poison Nova and hit a Windrunner. That's a big AoE spell, but everybody else was BKB'd up, so even the Crystal Maiden, like, it just didn't hit anything. So Na'Vi, Dendy needs to go back and look at his item build. Yeah, he says, I need some deeps. He goes back for a Yasha.
Yeah, like this choice. I wouldn't even mind some Necro books. I guess
Sure,
with this many
yeah.
BKBs, they're not the best, but
They still
just
hit.
anything to help you get pushes. Meanwhile, though, Funnick, he's tracked down S4. There was a Radiant Observer Ward here, spotting him head through the jungle. So it looks like Funnick on the back of that, able to find the kill. And that's a big kill for this Magnus. He's just got the BKB blink, and we're getting to a point now where they'll need double RP, I feel, to lock this Death Prophet down and kill her off. Picks up a plate mail on top of the heart. Now sitting on 20 armor, 3,300 HP. This is looking like a Pudge who's gotten like 30, 40 stacks of flesh strength.
Yeah, and his item choice, the way that he itemized, Hex is going to be good for the team. If he dies, which I don't think he will die, the Bloodstone regen for the team is going to be pretty serviceable as well. Yeah, the big issue, I think, is Magnus. This is not... Oh, what a hook coming in from afar. EGM's going to get caught. The Scythe's going to come out, so no Force Staff. The Death Prophet Ultimate's going to come out as well. They do get the one kill, and look at this tower. It's going to drop. Alliance has 5 seconds to think about what they need to do because S4 is back alive soon, and they need to drop a 4 or 5 man RP.
Arrow to fly. The BKBs start coming out, but they're not going in yet. There's a butterfly up on this Mirana, but she still just doesn't hit that hard. Generally with Mirana, you need like that one big damage item after this to get your right clicks off, but she'll try and tickle Havost here. No, just clean off the creeps once that backdoor regen.
Havost is trapped between creeps.
He doesn't care.
Okay, he doesn't.
He's got phase boots available. In come the familiars trying to start this fight off. S4, he just can't get off an RP. He keeps on having his blink canceled by those wards, and he tries to charge in.
RP?
Skewer in the middle of the fight. The RP is pretty good. They'll bring down those supports, but can they deal with Havost? He sized up Loda. He's got familiars here. No stuns.
Go, birds,
online.
go.
The
No.
birds are doing it. Funnick, he's found a kill. Na'Vi, they're
What's the
making
hook?
it happen here. There's another shackle shot, but this Rax is low. They've already gotten the range track.
hooks. Oh, it's gonna find
These
from
plays
long range.
from Funnick. Oh my
EGM.
goodness.
Gonna go down. Aka is gonna get detected by the gem here on Funnick. They're gonna get no. Here comes Bulldog getting somewhat pushed back. But meanwhile, if you look at Havost, he's trying to Rax again. No physical damage whatsoever.
He's got his ult soon, though. 20 seconds to go. This is not looking good for Alliance here. They need to clean up like 3-4 heroes before that Death
Havost.
Prophet ult cools down. Well, Havost might be the one that does. He does sight the Bulldog, tries to finish him off. The Rax is low. Does he suicide for it? Does he run?
Gets one more
the
kill.
bounty, or rather, the bounty hunter falls, but in exchange, it will be your Death Prophet likely to go down. So close to having the ult. Scythe on cooldown for 20 seconds. If he can start heart regenning, he might be okay.
Heart
Loda's got an
regen.
arrow.
Oh.
Needs a play here. Where's that arrow? He could leap
Hex-
and just try and
Hex in
right-click him
10
down.
seconds.
Leap, arrow. No, the self-deny with the Bloodstone. And the
Meanwhile,
Rax.
Crystal Maiden's gonna die to range creeps.
Oh, forget about the Crystal Maiden. Look at the Rex. The Catapult's going to bring it down. The creeps are winning this game.
Catapult OP.
Hero creeps for the Alliance. Or for Na'Vi. And the Alliance just... It all goes back to that one chase middle lane. Like 10, 15 minutes ago when they ran here and S4 just kept on chasing Crystal Maiden. Or was it Visage? I forget. Some hero that didn't really matter that much. Used his BKB, dropped an RP. That cost them 2 lanes of Rax. Everything that's followed is because of that fight.
I think it was Clockwork, and I think Clockwork is a big part of this game. Look at how well he's played. We talked about the early game aggression of Clockwork, ganked his way up to a phase boot. If you look at the way that he has picked up items, Axe Scepter for multiple initiation for the game. And by the way, he's been hitting those hooks. And also, the pipe. I think the pipe is a big one for the team. All those early game pushes, the power shot as well as the shockwave just mow down your creep wave, and you never go on the high ground. The pipe ties things over. You go up the high ground, that's when you set up your wards. That's when your ultimate with Death Prophet. But for now, it looks like Alliance is going to try to sneak a Roshan. They do have the damage from Loda, but...
They saw the rocket flare was there, but it's about to end. Oh, they're going to find Dendy.
Dendy's going to go down.
Dendy.
He's got
he does
buyback.
force out the BKBs here. He dropped his Poison Over before going down. Now EGM instantly isolated. Just look at him melting. Here comes your RP from S4. Is it enough? Crystal made an ult over the top.
DP.
Holy freaking crap. And the DP never dies. 5 heroes dead. That's the quickest way to lose a game to a farm Death Prophet. And they tap out.
So I just want to mention that unlike most other carries, you stun him. DP says, guys, I still got ghosts. Are you afraid of ghosts? You should be.
Jesus. That looked like Alliance were pulling it back.
They were. I think if they actually got the Roshan, if you look look at what Loda's getting, Loda was going for Divine Rapier. He's got a Sacred Relic. If they got Aegis on him and if they got Divine, I see this game being drawn out and maybe winning it, but that one DP ultimate. Holy Jesus.
Yeah, that was where, like, your S4, normally you make that big RP, and you're like, all right, I just want my team to game. That was not the kind of fight they wanted. So after game number 2, what was once a best of 5 is now a best of 3. We're coming down the home stretch here, Lumi. Who's going to take it?
Na'Vi still bets on them.
Okay, well, Lumi's rares on Na'Vi. Most of you guys have your rares on Alliance, but we will see game 2 in the books. We'll take a quick break here, guys, and then we'll come back. If we have time, we'll break game 2 down, and we'll get ready for game 3. Stay tuned.